damn, I don't know, charger things, and the police for sure be willing to do it because it's a huge mess to clean up, right? Administratively, it's a huge mess. But it's just a huge mess in general. I mean, you know, I don't want to rag on people and beat a dead horse, but I also got to keep, the focus on where the blame is, right? I mean, the blame fundamentally, is in the people that sit at those council meetings, right? The people that sit in those rooms and the people that are on those boards and, you know, um, the administrative class and that's the trio, right? That's the, I mean, the three amigas, right? Um, versus what? A four-man clown show? Circus, right? I mean, you know, we welcome a challenge, right? We always do, but it's not much of a challenge, but I don't know. Just like I said, the city of Wayne, admin, right? City council and whatnot, they're very protective of their territory, right? So we're, literally going into what they consider their territory, which is, the people's territory. That's the people's house, right? Saying that I can't go into, city-owned buildings. Well, there's nothing city-owned here. This is taxpayer funded. This is taxpayer money, right? And like I said, the city of Wayne admin has just really simply forgotten who they serve, right? And so, yeah, I mean, it's time for a reset. We'll call it a reset. The Wayne reset, right? Where, first of all, we want good police officers, but we want really peace officers, right? We want peace officers and really good crime solvers, people that can investigate and solve, felonious, high level, crimes against humanity, right? And, murder, rape, and, the like, right? Grape, and all that sort of stuff, right? We want, real crimes being punished, right? But other than that, we want peace officers, right? Officers that patrol the residential neighborhoods, not to harass or intimidate or annoy or to, do any of that to people. But, certain cul-de-sacs, certain times of day, yeah, there's tremendous amounts of people speeding and running stop signs and, doing all sorts of shit, right? Driving, insanely fast and, children, and all that. So I, of course, want to see, the police actually protecting people, right? Our most vulnerable people, right? Disabled people, children, women, right? Veterans, right? We want to take care of everybody. And yeah, we want the police, utilized. If the city of Wayne wants to make money legitimately, well, then just have people patrolling the residential streets, right? If they're speeding or running stop signs, then they get a ticket, right? I mean, I'm all for shit like that. I'm all for catching people that are, drinking and driving, shit like that, right? I mean, of course, right? But we don't, seem to have that, right? So, or, we're not allowed to have that, right? I don't know what, exactly percentage-wise, right? I have to kind of see everything from the inside, but yeah, it just doesn't look good, right? So, City of Wayne, that is, right? It just hasn't. So, we can clean it up, though. We can fix it, guys. We can, like I said, bring peace officers back, not policy officers, right? That's the title of this video. Peace officers, but not policy officers. So what that means is a peace officer, again, is someone who, the community likes, trusts, and, is really like protected by the community, right? Officers that go above and beyond for people, go out of their way to protect people's rights, make sure they're protecting people's rights. informing people of their rights, educating people on their rights, upholding to the United States Constitution, because that is the supreme law of the land, as it will always be in this country. And then, of course, the Michigan State Constitution, which is no slouch either. It's actually more comprehensive. And because there's policy or, something on a piece of paper, right? And even if, there's an ordinance even, guys, I mean, these ordinances, just because they pass them, don't mean they're legal, don't mean they're, constitutionally enforceable, right? I mean, if you have an ordinance that just says, oh, I can just do whatever I want, I can come on your property and, without a warrant and do whatever I want, well, that's, again, a problem because it's void for vagueness, right? You can't violate, you can't invalidate somebody's constitutional or state or county rights, because you have a city ordinance, right? So, that's the big key here. That's always been the case. So, I mean, it's really from a lawsuit standpoint, it's kind of retarded to even have half of these ordinances anymore, right? Half of these ordinances, again, violate the vagueness doctrine. And, they were designed at one point to, be weaponized. Well, there still are, right? They're really, like I said, most of these ordinances are not even enforced. And it's visibly noticeable from public easements all over the city. I mean, I drove all over the city of Wayne today, which isn't big at all. So I've pretty much seen everything at this point. And there's quite a bit of just some shit that's it's not adding up, guys. I mean, it really, 2 + 2 it ain't adding up here, right? And there's too many fucking things that are just funny. And no, I can't, nobody can, right? Miss Zamora, I mean, she's horrified. Mrs. Zamora, also, she's horrified by these people, because she knows what these people are. She knows me, and she knows, yeah, I mean, I say some provocative shit, but there's a good reason behind it. There's a very good reason behind a lot of the provocative shit I say. Now, am I going to say that I don't ever fuck up and say some shit I probably shouldn't say, and, some shit that I guess I would regret? Yeah, I mean, that's valid. But, I mean, fuck, for as much time as you spend doing this, as I do, I mean, it's like, yeah, you're going to fuck up, especially when you're live streaming, right? You're live streaming. There's no way to rehearse this shit, right? It's just you let it flow and as you go, right? I mean, so I don't know. I don't know what's bound to happen, and but that's the exciting part, I guess, about life. But I'm not gonna lie, I know that I'm a target, right? At this point, yeah, I'm 10 times the target of Mark Blackwell, right? City of Wayne deployed 10 times the malicious, retaliatory, vindictive, like what they did to, retaliatory prosecution, right? I mean, that's what they did to Blackwell. He criticized them at city council meeting, and then they retaliated and falsely arrested him, falsely prosecuted him, right? But I'm like times 10. My case is probably times 100 at this point. Because it really just don't matter anymore, to me. It's like, this is destiny, right? So, red roses, that's what it is. No, I mean, it's just peace officers, not policy officers, right? Policies aren't laws, and therefore they're not enforceable. And you certainly can't violate the 4th Amendment and the 14th Amendment, for that matter, to enforce policies. That's not how our system works. at all. Like, not at all. In any way, shape, or form. And there's immense amounts of case law that I could cite for you. And I could cite, and I think it's appropriate. I really do. I think it's appropriate that I tell you about all this case law that I found in jail. Now I've found additional case law since. But, I really want to show you. I really, really, really want to show you all the things that, I was tortured. I was locked in a cage. I was thrown in solitary confinement. I was subjected to, cruel and unusual punishment for no reason at all other than to just punitively punish me. Punished by defiance, right? For defying the status quo in Wayne, Michigan. For embarrassing their shithole, right? Well, our shithole. Not their shithole. Our shithole. But it's the shithole that they created, right? That they're responsible for, that we got to clean up, right? Because Wayne wasn't always a shithole. And Wayne can be great again. So that's what I've learned. I've learned a lot. Talking to people. And, Wayne at one time was the best out there. It was the best that the Metro Detroit had to offer, and it was clean, it was respectable, it was proper, it was proud. That was the thing that I kept hearing. Families. That's what I kept fucking hearing over and over and over and over and over again. And it just breaks your heart. It breaks your heart listening to some person that's wise beyond measure, right? I mean, they're just an encyclopedia of wisdom, some of these people, and you just hear the kind of the same old thing, right? You hear the same sort of theme, right? It's like everybody knows each other, but they don't. But everyone is saying the same sort of things, right? Every once in a while you hear something new or different, or something that you weren't privy on, right? That you weren't in the loop about. But yeah, for the most part, it's just people saying the same shit over and over. Wondering why, wondering why do things have to be this way? And you're like, man, that's fucking nuts. Because I wonder the same stuff. And they wonder the same stuff. Then you realize that we're all just sick and tired of this shit. Sick and fucking tired of what we got in Wayne, right? We just have ineffective people that don't want to take any chances. They don't want to do shit. They don't want to disrupt the quo. Fuck, dude. At some point, like I said, if not now, when? If not who, then whom, right? If not me, then whom, right? If not you, then whom? Who's gonna do it, right? Who's gonna step up? Well, here the fuck I am, guys. Plebe McFarland reporting for duty from Georgia Military College, Milledgeville, Georgia. 142nd Corps Cadets, Georgia Military College. Plebe McFarland. Well, I graduated from plebe status, but I was just a nobody. I was just a regular cadet. I wasn't anything special, guys. No, I was just a young man like any other young man at Georgia Military College, just trying to make a better life for themselves, their family, and their country, and trying to do right by Jesus Christ, and try to live a good life. That's people that I went to GMC. That's what I experienced. And greatest university or college in the United States, in my opinion, because it teaches you something that you just can't get at other places, right? You can't get Charlie Plum. You can't get some of these other people. You can't get all the, all of the knowledge and, speakers and life lessons and life stories and, motivation and perseverance, right? Somebody like Charlie Plum, guys. Prisoner of war. Had to walk back and forth in his cell for months and months and months. Torture. Right? Sounds a lot like me, right? You know, obviously not in the same circumstance, but shit, pretty close. Pretty fucking close. You know, for this century, I guess, the equivalent. And yeah, I mean, it's just normal people are tired of it, man. I'm tired of it. You know, I'm tired of not having, you know, the city of Wayne wants to, like, oh, you know, they want to bring up my mental health. And it's like, how fucking dare you people? How dare you people bring up my mental health? That you have actively, deliberately, and differently exacerbated, repeatedly exacerbated. To no end. To no fucking end. And then, you know, because I know I'm smart enough to realize what malicious prosecution is, and vindictive prosecution, and abusive process, and deliberate indifference, and retaliatory prosecution, and Fourth Amendment violation, unreasonable search and seizure, false imprisonment. I mean, it just goes on and on. Right? And then you get into my criminal record reporting, you get into all this shit, and you're like, man, this is like a fire hydrant of constitutional rights violations. This whole case is. It's a fire hydrant. It's just, you know, constitutional violations fucking galore. And you're like, man. It's different. It's definitely different. But hey, what are you gonna do, guys? Besides make beef stew and say hallelujah. How about you? Takes two to tangle. But the thing is the tangling never even had to happen in the first place. You could have just utilized the knock and talk doctrine, been respectful of my home, of my family's fucking home, and you know, everything would have been a lot more hunky-dory. Let me just say that. But let this be a lesson to be learned for all people, municipalities. A little respect goes a long way. A little fucking respect goes a long way. Well, a lot of respect goes a lot of way, but you know. Knock and talk doctrine. If you don't have to go through a gate, you know, if you don't have to go through some sort of, you know, if you can walk up, you know, to some, if you can park in the street, walk up someone's house, knock on their front door, wait on their front porch for, you know, a few moments, right? You can wait for someone to answer. If they don't answer, then you have to leave. That's just how it goes. Right? You can't just go in the side yard, in the backyard, and hang out, you know, barbecue, and party, you know. I wish the city of Wayne would have just respected my constitutional rights. You know, that's what's fucking crazy about everything. You know, they want to act like, well, you know, he's some crazy. No, I'm a person who served in the United States Army honorably, and yeah, I have some fucking problems. I mean, for sure, from that, and from, you know, so shouldn't have to endure, you know, torture, right? Shouldn't have to endure torture, right? Because I just want you to, you know, fix my fucking sidewalks, fix my road, right? Because I used my property as a case study, you know, which I'm an industrial psychologist, organizational psychologist by education, so I'm like, you know, yeah, it kind of makes sense, right? Kind of make fucking sense. You know, why not use my house as a case study, right? Biggest piece of residential property in Wayne, and the nicest neighborhood, and you know, if the city of Wayne can't get that right, well then, what the fuck you know, if the city of Wayne can't get that right, then it sure as fuck ain't gonna get it right for the rest of the people in Wayne, Michigan. Right? And it's just that simple, guys. So I've seen enough, man. I really have. I've seen way more than enough. You know, the city of Wayne goes, oh, our pipes are old, and yeah, we'll replace them all and fucking redo the sidewalks. Right? Fire these fucking idiots that are just wasting people's time and money, and, you know, get rid of a bunch of ordinances, right, that are just retarded for lack of, you know, why would I want, you know, that's a good word for it, retarded. Get rid of all these retarded ass ordinances that are just, you know, void for vagueness, or they're just, you know, flat out just non-applicable, or they're just, like, again, retarded or discriminatory or written so poorly. They like the open burn policy. Jeremy Snyder, you need to be fired just for your fucking illiteracy. The fire marshal of Wayne, Michigan. Your fucking dumbass needs to be fired just for your illiteracy. Your fucking illiteracy is disgusting. Fucking disgusting, motherfucker. You know, so I don't just like I said, guys, you get to a point where you're like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just gonna be a fucking comedian, and I'm gonna fucking say what I want to say about these pieces of shit. That's what the fuck they are. Pieces of human excrement, right? However you say it. Excrement, right? Human excrement. They're fucking human excrement. That's what they are. And that's the bottom line, folks. And that's ultimately why I had to step up to the plate. Not because I wanted to, believe me. I don't want to look at these motherfuckers, dude. These are some sorry ass motherfuckers, dude. I'm fucking, oh my fucking God, dude. The fucking council meeting just put me to sleep. You know, I'll put John in the corner, right? I'll put him in the corner. I'll put him in the fucking cup chair. John Racy, that's where he belongs. He belongs in the fucking cup chair in the corner. He's just so worthless, man. He's so ineffective, and God, what a nightmare to have to walk into. Voluntarily at that, guys. Well, I guess not really voluntarily. They fucked with me so bad, guys, and violated my rights to such a fucking extent that, you know, it just has to be what it has to be at this point, guys. I mean, you know, motherfuckers got rights, so I'm gonna exercise my rights. Frequently and often. And that is just how it's gotta be. Saggy titties. Let us see. Police pulled somebody over. Beach Daily in Glendale. Going to pick up a tail. Just kidding. Yeah, let's see. Police. Oh, yeah, they'll just ride around with their lights on just so they can skip lights and shit. All the time. Shit like that, like I said, that's not allowed in Wayne, Michigan. Police officers must follow all laws as well. You know, unless, of course, they're heading from a traffic ticket, right? Or not traffic. Unless they're, you know, heading to an emergency, a true emergency, right? Not some fucking, you know, made up, you know, oh, we called ourselves out to your house. We can declare it, you know, Mr. Grombrowski with his, you know, bunny ears. Yeah, it's a public safety hazard. If you got the time to do this, it's not an emergency, guys. That's the moral of the story. If you got the time to make air quotes, then the fire pit's not an emergency. So you can't just search and seize somebody's property and then destroy it, right? Destroy it for days so they can't use it again. Pretty fucked up, guys. You know, it's really really fucked up. I mean, deliberate indifference, yeah, for sure. Intentional infliction of emotional distress. I mean, that's kind of where I'm leaning towards. Like, fuck, dude. I mean, kind of looking that way. It's kind of teetering on that spectrum, right? I mean, it's pretty fucking. But that's the discovery violations. Holy shit, that's, you know. I'm just a motherfucker with a camera phone, and apparently not a lot of fucks to give, right? So, a lot of people like that though. I gotta say, a lot of people, a lot of people don't mind that. A lot of people prefer it that way. So that's where it's that's where it's fun. America, baby, America. I don't know what you've been told, but Wayne, Michigan ain't gotta be a shithole. We just gotta get rid of these bombs and go elect us some new ones, but half the age, underpaid, work for free in certain circumstances if they so choose. But I mean, if you do a real job, you should make that. What is it, $5,000? You should get the money, but we want to work for you guys. We don't we're not trying to set ourselves up for retirement. I'm trying to save my fucking city from brink of just destruction, right? I mean, fucking, like I said, I don't care how many times they bullshit you. I don't care how many times City of Wayne fucking bullshit you, lies to your face and says, oh yeah, everything's fucking great, look how much fucking cash. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Ain't nobody believing those lies and propaganda and data that's been flaws, right? Fucking flaws, so many flaws, right? Like I said, I wanna analyze that shit. I wanna check it out. I wanna see all this reports and I wanna see all that shit. I wanna see no more saggy titties. I want to see some competency. And with that, I shall see you later. I have got to go do other shit than this. But I hope you guys enjoyed the comedy show. Hope you guys enjoy, whatever the fuck this is. Whatever we're going to label this next, right? But, no, it's just, it's just a guy documenting being fucked with by the city and having enough and saying, okay, well, I'll become one of you. I'll sit next to you in the room and record you because I'm hard of hearing and, have a, what would we say, impaired memory and such. So, I need the, I need to record for my, for my, I don't know, what would you say, necessity, I guess, but, so I can actually do my job, it's like a workplace accommodation, so, yeah, I mean, that's kind of where we're at with it. I mean, that's not kind of where we're at, that's where we are at. I mean, we are literally, quite literally, tomorrow, we're going to have all our petitions. I mean, we'll fucking fill out a couple, we'll go beyond 50 signatures if we wanted to, but there's no point. Get them exactly 50 like they want. And, well, there you go. Now you got 50 people on the ballot, and I guess 50 people for the city of Wayne to try to harass, right? So, you fucking better not, city of Wayne. Like I said, do whatever you're going to do, guys. You guys want to continue to be criminals and continue to not comply with discovery demands and the like, I mean, well, have fun. Have fun. have fucking fun. So, but just know, daddy's coming home. Daddy's pissed. Right? Daddy is fucking pissed. And mommies, two mommies are really pissed about what you guys are doing down there. Two Latinas, the two amigas are real pissed. But the three amigos, I guess the other two amigos, they're coming in a couple of years, but yeah. Like I said, I want to see what the city of Wayne's going to run on for their, promises, right? I want to see what they're going to run on. I want to see what they're going to celebrate as their wins, right? As their big, big wins. I'm going to do that. There you go. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I love it, though. It gives me something to do, man. It gives me life. But it's sad, dude. I mean, God. What we could have in Wayne, Michigan, if only we didn't have fucking snaggle-toothed, bald cocks running shit, right? With the fucking whatever. I don't know what Diane Webb is, man. Because I don't know. She's just, I mean, man, I don't want to say it, but she's just kind of a bitch, man. I mean, I don't know what else to say it. Like, Diane Webb is she's not a good person, man. And she just don't have a spine, man. Spineless Diane, that's who she is. She wants to, act like she's nice, but, like I said, none of them are good actors. Spineless Diane, and we got Snaggletooth John. We got Gyno Rob Darwich, right? Roy Darwich. That motherfucker's juiced to the gills. He is. Well, I know because I've been in the I was in the industry for a minute, right? So I had a little run with it, but with working out, and all that. But I learned a few things. I heard a few things. I saw a few things. Shit, I know a few things. Yeah, fuck, dude, it's man. But that's what happens, you want to fuck around. The more you fuck around, the more you find out, City of Wayne. So, like I said, I'm going for broke. You're doubling down, I'm tripling down. I'm fucking splitting tens. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, guys, about their feelings, how they feel at all. Like how they did me in that jail, eating them bologna sandwiches and that fucked up food. I got something for you, City of Wayne. Don't you worry. I told you from day one I had something for you. And I didn't want to show you what it was because I figured, at some point you guys were going to just like at some point, guys, here's what I thought. Naively, right, of course. I won the fucking Optimist Award of Gratiot County, guys, in 2011, 2012. And, man, it just, dude, like, I wish I didn't have the Optimist in me, right? I fucking wish that Optimist was not in me. But, yeah, I wanted to believe that the City of Wayne, right, deputy fire, like everybody, right? I figured at some point the City of Wayne admin, right, the City Hall, the police and fire department, building and engineering, that's the fire department. I figured at some point, the 29th District Court, they were going to pull the crack pipe out of their mouth, right? I thought at some point they're going to pull the pipe out of their mouths. They're going to get sober. I don't even know if you had to even get sober for them to just come to a realization that what they're doing is like, I mean, it's malicious and vindictive, but it's also just like really, really retarded. It's really, really, really fucking retarded. Like that, a city, I mean, if they followed advice from Kerry Miller and Michael Bosnick to do what they're doing, well, they're literally, I mean, that that's, I mean, we gotta go after, you know, Kerry Miller. I mean, yeah, she's, I don't know what she is. She's not good for the legal profession. Let me tell you that. It's not, she's gonna. Oh, I bought into the hype. You know, the city of Wayne really. What I don't. There ain't nothing you can tell me that's gonna justify what happened to me, and delaying John Zook Jr.'s FOIA. John Zook Sr. couldn't get the FOIA for his son's murder. And I mean, it's just sick, man. It's fucking sick. I know people say, man, why you gotta open old wounds, and and I sympathize with that, but my counter to that would be, well, you gonna shoot the guy trying? I mean, you're gonna shoot the guy fucking, standing up for you? I mean, okay, he's not doing it in a way that you like, but I mean, fuck, what are you doing, right? I mean, so I don't know. My message is simple, right? I mean, it's really not that complex, but yeah, police got a big old perimeter around here, and goddamn, Livonia police. Yeah, man, solving real crimes and shit, Probably, hopefully, right? That's what we want, police. We want peace officers, not policy officers. We don't want policy enforcement. But yeah, check it out, City of Wayne. You guys want to see, like, that's how you're supposed to, your interference or whatever bullshit. Yeah, it's, well, there's your flares, right? You got to indicate, right? I mean, yeah, I'm like I said, I will take care of the training in Wayne. We'll make sure that everyone's trained, and we'll make it public record, public knowledge. We'll live stream the shit. I want to see, I want to see that person sign, live. Hey, I acknowledge that I understand what the Fourth Amendment, all this shit. You can be trained on everything. What an exigent circumstance is, what it's not, right? We're gonna police properly, and with regard for human rights and safety, right? I mean, we want people safe, but safety is secondary to liberty, right? Because without liberty, you can't have safety, right? So liberty is number one. We want freedom above all else. And the taxes, that's something that's going to take a minute to get any traction on. But there's a few different options we can employ, guys. There's a few different options. So yeah, we'll see how we got to do it. Get it fucking done, man. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys later, man. Like I said, I'll be in touch.